3 years into their 5-year mission, the crew of the USS Enterprise has journeyed into deep space, and the weariness of this long mission has begun to weigh heavy on Captain Kirk. However, a respite is cut short when the crew must respond to a distress call from beyond a dangerous nebula, but when they are attacked by a relentless alien force, the Enterprise is lost with the crew stranded on the planet below. The villainous Karl who led the attack needs an ancient and valuable artifact that's aboard the badly damaged starship to exact a special form of revenge. Left stranded in the rugged wilderness, Kirk, Spock, and the rest of the crew must now battle a deadly alien race while trying to find a way off their hostile planet. So I've been a Star Trek fan for the last 24 years, with my love firmly planted in the original series movies, The Next Generation, and Deep Space Nine, and my fandom has run for nearly half the lifespan of this franchise now, and Star Trek is something that I can always return to for a sense of comfort of old friends and aspirations of a hopeful vision of the future. Sadly, my relationship with the rebooted universe has not been very rosy. Neither the 2009 film nor Into Darkness terribly won me over for various reasons, but I was willing to give Star Trek Beyond a fresh chance because I always feel like Star Trek kind of deserves that every so often. After it's kind of stumbled a little bit, I think it's always worthwhile to give it another chance to pick itself up and try to get itself back on track to a much better place than it has been before. Now, with that said, I am very happy to say that I had an especially pleasant and surprising experience with this effort from Fast and Furious director Justin Lin. First and foremost, this cast continues to excel within their characters, paying tribute to their legacies, but also bringing their own touches to each one of them. Zachary Quinto stands out strongly as Spock, grappling with internal conflicts that further define the depth of his Spock, and also sorting out his relationships with James T. Kirk and Dr. McCoy throughout the narrative. Everything he portrayed was so rich and poignant. It felt so very good seeing him bring all these qualities greatly to the surface of this character in this film. I also felt that what they did in tribute to Leonard Nimoy, who passed away last year, was a perfect piece of work. Chris Pine also continues to distinguish his Kirk from the classic Shatner interpretation, showing his own weariness and questioning his motivations and direction as a Starfleet officer, yet still pulling through with the indomitable spirit of James T. Kirk so very well throughout this entire narrative and the arc that Kirk goes through in this film. And Karl Urban is utterly fantastic as Dr. McCoy, still getting all the best lines of wit and cynicism, with that nice little touch of charm as well that also DeForest Kelley had so well, and Urban has paid such great tribute to. And Urban and Quinto share significant screen time together, with Bones and Spock being stranded together, and their chemistry throughout the entire film could absolutely not be any better at all. And Idris Elba's Karl is a decent villain that eventually gets some substance and depth added onto him later in the film, but despite a very good quality performance by the always reliable Idris Elba, Karl really won't be a villain that many remember too much. It's not about the villain and his plot so much, but how the trials of these events strengthen our heroes to build them forward into their further journeys into this universe. Now, some may still be offset by the very action-centric approach to this new Star Trek, which I entirely sympathize with because I felt the same about the previous two films. Yet I believe the quality of the story and character work here felt stronger, more consistent, and more focused than either of the J.J. Abrams directed efforts. Beyond features a more simplistic story of survival, escape, and the bitter machinations of his powerful enemy. The majority of the cast have their times to shine and make this feel like a more of an ensemble piece than just a Kirk and Spock vehicle. They all have something to contribute to the story, and the new character of Jayla is a skilled warrior with some crafty skills and honest emotions that make her a very well-rounded character that is very well portrayed in a very enjoyable fashion by Sofia Boutella. With Justin Lin being known for his Fast and Furious movies, it is only natural for much of the action of Star Trek Beyond to be very well executed. The initial attack upon the USS Enterprise is a very long siege that showcases a lot of inventive action set pieces, and the rest of the film delivers with well choreographed sequences, with only a few moments where the framing was a bit too tight to maintain a comfortable sense of geography throughout certain moments. And I can surely see criticisms of Kirk buzzing around on a motorcycle being very un-Star Trek-like, but I guess seeing it in the previews helped to ease me into the reality of it. Plus, it also harkens back a little to the 2009 film where Kirk, as a child, was driving the vintage automobile, and when he was riding up to the dry dock Enterprise on his own motorcycle, so a little bit of character history and context here to kind of make it not so out of place if you really think about it. But in general, I felt the action was very satisfying, and it aided the story instead of overtaking it. And with this being the 50th anniversary of Star Trek, I saw many little subtle nods to the legacy of the franchise throughout, between little character beats, story elements, and various things scattered throughout the whole film. So much of the quality and love went into these things that really enriched the film for me. Yet there are further elements in the movie that are very popcorn action silliness, but I guess this film just really caught me up in a fun ride with enjoyable characters and engaging enough plot to allow me to enjoy those moments. This film really knew what it wanted to be, had a focus on where it was going and how it wanted to traverse that ground. Backed by a nice script with a good action director, a high quality cast, stellar effects, and a good sense of heart mixed in with its fun factor, Star Trek Beyond for me was an entertaining ride that left me ready to warp full speed ahead into the final frontier and see where this brave crew of the Starship Enterprise will boldly go next. So if you want to see a good, solid, fun film in a summer that's kind of had a lot of things fall short of expectations, not quite go as far as you wanted to in the satisfying realm, I highly endorse seeing Star Trek Beyond for a very solid, satisfying, fun thrill ride. I'll be back with you guys when I can, if I can. But I hope you enjoyed this review. I really felt very strongly about Star Trek, and I really felt like I really did put forth the effort to at least get this review out to you guys. So, thumbs up on the video, subscribe, share links around. I highly appreciate it. So thanks guys, take care, bye bye.